Welcome to Spiritual Disciple. My name is Ambi. We're on location. We're in Oregon. No, actually, we're in Washington State. Sorry. We're across the Columbia. So we're in Washington. I had an interview today, so that was interesting. So, I don't know. You know what's crazy is that, I'm 50 now. So doing interviews to me, seem kind of weird because I already know what I'm here to serve. I already know that God has me here for a purpose and that I'm already serving and that the money will come. I just haven't been aligned with where I'm supposed to, I don't know how to say it. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and even though it might not seem like you are, because I have a testimony for us today. So I left Arizona a couple weeks ago, okay? And the reason I left Arizona is because for the month prior to this, I was getting a lot of that feeling of movement, like it's time to move, it's time to go, right? And everything was falling into place for me to get out of there, which kind of made me upset because I was hoping I was going to be in Mesa for a while because I had a lease, I had an apartment. Needless to say, God had a different plan for me. I had to break my lease, you guys. I had to break my lease early. My client passed away, and everything fell into place where I was heading towards Oregon. But God had a plan for me to go somewhere first, okay? And this testimony is how God will take us out of places and situations to give us an opportunity for clarity, understanding, peace, and connection with Him. And it might not it might not seem possible because you're like, how can God just pick you up and place you somewhere? I'm gonna share my testimony. Then this is how it went. So my client passed away, and I was very distraught about it because, one, I had kind of already knew that I was going to be leaving, but I was hoping that it wouldn't be for a few weeks, so I had some time to have some money, make some money so that I can travel. But it didn't happen that way, okay? My client passed away a week prior to what I was hoping that he would last a little bit longer, but it didn't work like that. God took him earlier. So not only that, I lost my apartment, I lost my client, I lost my income, and everything started to just. So I prayed, and before all this was going down, I kept on in my spirit feeling like a sense of direction towards New Mexico. Like I had this curiosity of New Mexico, and there was 3 places that I wanted to see in New Mexico, and all three of them were churches that had some kind of spiritual connection. They had some kind of miracle happen, or they had something there that provided peace and comfort, the Spirit of the Lord. And I've never been to New Mexico, so I wasn't quite sure what I was getting into, right? But in my mind, I was thinking, okay, it's a new start. I'm going to move to Santa Fe. That sounds like that sounds like a beautiful place. I'll move to Santa Fe. It's close to all those places, and I'll go check it out. And maybe this is the opportunity I was looking for to be a full-time content creator. So I was like, okay, this is it. I'm doing it. So one of the places was this church that it was a story about how this mystery man showed up and built this stairway, right? And the nuns had referred to it as a miracle of God, that it was actually Saint Joseph that came and provided all this stuff. It was a miracle, absolutely amazing. I ended up never going there, just FYI. I never made it there, so that wasn't part of the journey. The other place was this place where they had healing dirt, healing mud that's supposed to help heal superficial wounds, and it was supposed to have some kind of mineral or some kind of healing effect that helped people. And there was proof, there had testimonies of that happening for people. Needless to say, God didn't send me that way. I didn't go to the healing dirt. But I did end up heading towards the monastery, okay? And this is where the blessing and the miracle of God shows up, okay? Christmas Eve, I decided, the week of Christmas, I decided that this is when I'm going to start this journey. I'm going to start this beginning. And I get everything set up. And I plan on going to Tucson because my godparents live there, and I was going to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas with them. And while I was there spending Christmas and Christmas Eve, I was going to leave from there and go straight to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and start my new life, right? Now, just imagine this. I don't have anything. I have a car. I've got a half a tank of gas. I've got $30 in my pocket, and that's all I have. And I'm starting a new life in New Mexico, which seems ridiculous for anyone to do, right? That's crazy. I go and I spend Christmas Eve and Christmas with my godparents, and by the grace and mercy of God, thank you guys, they give me $100 for Christmas as a gift, and I use that to drive for gas to get myself to New Mexico. I get to New Mexico, and right outside this outskirts of Truth and Consequences, I start getting kind of sick, right? And so I stayed the night there, and I felt really like yucky. Like I pulled into this place that like a truck stop to spend the night there for the evening before I headed on out the rest of the way. And I sat there and I watched a movie, and I'm just trying to settle in, try to get into the spirit of the adventure. I go to sleep, and then when all of a sudden I get this really yucky feeling. I wake up and I get really bad vertigo, like dizzy. I've never had that before. I just feel real sick. And I'm like, what is going on, Father? And I get terrified, like sick, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Why did I do this? This is not what, maybe I sensed something different. I'm like praying to God. I was like, did I do something wrong? What's going on? Why do I feel like bad? So I get some water and I try to calm myself down. I pray, I relax, I lay back down. About an hour or so into my sleep, I hear clear as day in my mindset, like in my mind, wake up! I wake up and I'm like, oh wow. I get up and I look around, and there's this big, huge semi in front of me, and it's day now, the light's out. I get up and I go to the truck stop, to the bathroom. I go do all my business, and I decide I'm just going to go straight to Santa Fe. I drive all the way to Santa Fe. I get there, and I'm still sick, okay? I'm still sick. I go downtown. I take a few pictures of their downtown. I do my little thing. But it's still, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I feel it. I feel like, hey, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Where am I supposed to be? So I drive up to this hill, and it's raining, and it's cold, and I'm nauseous, and I'm dizzy, and I call my mom, and I'm all upset. And I'm like, Mom, I'm literally looking over a cemetery. It looked like a veteran cemetery or something. And I'm crying to my mom, and I'm like, I think I made a mistake. Maybe it wasn't God that called me. Maybe I'm just all over the place, and I'm just not, maybe it wasn't this isn't where I'm supposed to go. And my mom's like, well, you need to head towards me, come towards me. And I'm like, how am I supposed to drive all the way to Portland from Santa Fe on half a tank of gas and $30 in my pocket, right? So I decide, okay, I am going to just start. Okay, I can't go anywhere. I'm sick. I'm just gonna start driving. So I start driving, and as I'm start driving on the freeway, I MapQuest this mission that I was interested in going to. Okay, when I started the journey, and I stop and I check out a couple of sites along the way, and then I call my aunt. My aunt calls me and I tell her, hey, I've decided I'm heading towards Portland. I'll figure out it when I get there. Hopefully God willing, I'll get there. And that's the last person I talk to, right? So as I'm driving up this this highway, which is in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico, I see the sign for the monastery, and I'm sick. I didn't realize how far in the desert I really was, and there was nothing out there. There was nowhere for gas. I mean, I was in the middle of nowhere, and I had checked it out prior, like to see like if there was rooms. There was no rooms. Everything it wasn't taking anything. So it was by the grace of God that I went, because God's like, go to the monastery, go to the monastery, go to the monastery. And the monastery, okay, in the desert is literally 13 miles away from the highway, which is in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a one-way drive. You go through cliffs and drops, and there's rivers, and it's terrifying. Now think of it like this. I'm already kind of sick. I'm nauseous. I'm kind of dizzy as it is. It's probably not the best place to be driving when you're in this kind of condition. However, I had a mission. Like, I knew that I had to go there. God's like, you need to go there. You will be, there's rest there. There's a bed there. There's food there. There's everything that you need is there. So I just drive, and I'm praying and I'm asking Lord, please, Lord, have a spot there for me. I don't even know what I'm doing out here in the middle of the desert, but please, Heavenly Father, have a spot there for me. I get there. And I go to the rooms, and there's a guy there, and he's like, hi. He was one of the guests, and I was like, hey, is there any room here? He's like, you need to go to the gift shop down where the church is, and then you can talk to the guest master, and they will let you know if there's any rooms. But it seems like there are. You should be okay. So I go over down to the guest master, which is down where the church and everything is. I drive over there, and by the grace of God, okay, the lady that's there, she's like, I was just about to walk out. I was just about to leave. If you would have been a second later, you would have missed me, and you wouldn't have been able to stay, because the monks there they don't talk, right? They don't really socialize with anyone unless there's a certain time that they do, but you do everything on reservations online, right? That's how they set everything up. And so I just showed up. I didn't make a reservation. I just showed up. And so she goes, well, what's the story? And I explained to her, I was like, listen, I'm going through a spiritual awakening, a spiritual walk with God right now. And everything that I'm doing seems crazy and weird, but it's all because I'm following my spirit. I'm following the spirit of the Holy Spirit's guiding me, like telling me where to go. And I'm supposed to be here. God's proven and showing me the truth that He is my provider. He is my support. He's the one that comforts me and gives me clarity, and I need to be here. And she's like, okay, well, it's $100 for 2 nights. I don't know if we have room, if there's a room available. However, when after Vespas, which is the prayer, we go to dinner afterwards, stay for Vespa and prayer, and then we'll talk to the Father and see what, follow us out. We'll have dinner, and then He'll let us know if you are able to stay, if you have room, right? If we have room. I was like, okay, all right. So I stay, and I do the prayers and everything, and I follow them out, and I have dinner. And then after dinner, he meets with me, and I explain my situation. I'm like, okay, I've been on a spiritual journey for quite a while. The awakening for myself has actually happened in the last 4 years. However, God has placed it in my spirit that I was supposed to be here in New Mexico for a good couple of months. It's been in my subconscious, in my mind, that I have to be here. But everything fell in line the past month, and I'm here right now. And I have nowhere to go, and I need shelter. And God said that I was to come here to be taken care of. He's supposed to be here. And the father, he tells me, he goes, you came at the last weekend, okay? It's the Holy Family's, it's a festival, okay? They're celebrating the festival of the Holy Family this weekend. So that's what the prayer is about. And this last weekend, after that, the monastery closed down for a whole month in January for the monks and for the clergy to take a break from the public. But not only that, in 2026 we might actually be closing down completely for a year to do some cleaning and rebuilding and doing some other things. So you came at a very huge time, because if you didn't come now, it would have been a while for you to be here. So obviously you're here for a reason. And he goes, you can stay, but you have to stay for 2 days. You have to stay for 2 days in order so that you can be fed physically, spiritually, and mentally, the Spirit of the Lord, right? And he's like, we charge $100 for 2 nights, but we will talk about what we're going to arrange for your donation when we're done, after your stay. Now, needless to say, I've already told him that I have like $20 to my name and that I'm in need, right? So he gives me a whole suite to myself with my own bathroom, and I get to spend the night for the night.